I used to think when I died, the first thing I wanted to see would be my own funeral. To see who came, who didn't, who cried, who fell down, who tried to climb in the coffin, knowing we couldn't stand each other when I was alive. But in the end, or is it the new beginning, all I truly wanted to see was my daughter, Mary. I thought time moved fast between dying, learning that you're dead, learning the new rules, and making your choice, which was easy for me because all I could think about was Mary. And like a friendly visitor told me, all it takes is a thought to see and go to anyone or anywhere now. You wouldn't know it though from the millions of spirits who made the choice to stay milling about like ants at a picnic. All it took was basically wanting to see them, and you'll see how surrounded you were. And just as quickly, you could go back to not wanting to see them. So that's the first thing I did was go to Mary. She couldn't hear or see me, but if it made sense, I believe she could feel me. She now lived with my brother, which was good, I suppose. His own kids had started graduate school, so he and his wife weren't new to parenting. They were great aunts and uncles, so I felt good that Mary wound up there. I can only imagine the struggle it took whatever state agency to locate a mother, but that's a different story. So that's how I spent my days mostly. When you're alive, you never think that all day people who died and love you are sitting right next to you, watching you brush your teeth, eat breakfast, go to school, go to work. All the things that were boring and mundane in life are like world premiere events to those that can only watch them being done. It made me really think about what life actually is. Is it the so-called big moments, the graduations, the relationships, the marriages, the births, the divorces, and all the events that get top billing in your obituary? In a way, it is. But by and large, I was realizing that life was like a quote I read somewhere long ago. The most important part on a tombstone is the dash between the born and death date, because that's the life. And all the small, inconsequential minutes and seconds, thoughts and choices that exist between the so-called landmark events determine the quality of the life in question. So I follow Mary, who had grown a bit because, as I would discover, 6 months had passed since I had passed. Time moves different here, I was starting to understand. So when she ate breakfast, I was at the table. When she was at the school bus, I was right there. From English class to the dentist to the sky zone, I was right there. Appreciating every second in a way you never can until you have 0 seconds left for anything. But night was the best. Though I know she was still processing losing her father and adjusting to her new life, it was bedtime that really allowed me to connect with her. Because every night she'd hug the stuffed monkey we named Maurice, and as weird as it sounds, I could feel her sadness, her loneliness, but larger than both of them was her love. And we went like that for what was months by the calendars of the living. I could use the nights to think of all of our short time together. Sometimes I just sit and watch her sleep for hours that went by like minutes or seconds. You know, time moves different. Well, it was on one of those nights as I was waiting, watching Mary hug Mr. Maurice peacefully sleeping, I got to thinking about how I wish that if I couldn't be there, at least her mother could. But she hadn't been in either of our lives for years. It's usually the men who abandon their families, but me and Mary were living, at least half of us were, proof that it works the other way. As those memories turned to frustration, that turned to resentment, the funniest thing happened. As I thought that we didn't even know if her mother was alive or dead, I surprisingly found out. I heard a hauntingly familiar voice come from right in front of me. Always knew one of these days I'd see you here, but I didn't think it'd be like this.